Hello and welcome to Housing TV News at the top of the hour, coming to you from our studios here in the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Dorcas Chia. Our top stories. Federal government to arraign suspects in Benue killings. Nigeria set to become Africa's first electric vehicle manufacturing country. Enugu government unifies land charges, reduces fees by 69%. On the foreign scene, Interpol issues red notice for Indonesian oil tycoon over $17 billion corruption scandal. Now the news in detail. The federal government has announced the suspects linked to the recent killings in Yawata, Benue State will be arraigned. According to a press release issued on Sunday, the suspects reportedly connected to the deadly attacks in the Benue community will appear before Justice Joyce Abdul Malik of the Federal High Court in Abuja. The arraignment comes after what the government described as a thorough investigation and close coordination among security and investigative agencies, which led to the suspect's arrest. The Office of the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice assured Nigerians that justice will be pursued diligently, stressing that the prosecution is intended to serve as a strong warning to anyone threatening national security, regardless of their guise. Reaffirming the position of the Tinubu administration, the AGF's office emphasized that the protection of lives and property remains a core responsibility of government as enshrined in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The statement was signed by Kamarundi Ogundele, Special Advisor to the President on Communication and Publicity in the Office of the Attorney General and Minister of Justice. Moving forward, the federal government has signed a memorandum of understanding with the South Korea's Economic Development Committee to establish an electric vehicle manufacturing plant and develop charging infrastructure across Nigeria. The agreement was signed on January 30, 2026 by the Minister of State for Industry, Senator John Eno, on behalf of the federal government, while AEDC Chairman Mr. Yoon Suk-hon signed for the South Korean organization. The National Automotive Design and Development Council said the partnership aligns with Nigeria's energy transition and automotive industry development plans and will promote technology transfer, investment, and local manufacturing. And now, Kano State Governor Abba Yusuf has approved new appointments and promotions across key government institutions in the state. The development was announced in a statement on Monday by the governor's spokesperson, Sunusi Dawakin Tofa. According to the statement, Abubakar Matawale was appointed Acting Director General of the Kano State Pilgrims Welfare Board, while Yusuf Mukhtar was promoted to Permanent Secretary. Rama Alhaji was named Provost of the Kano State Anti-Corruption Institute, and Kannywood actress Aina Ade was elevated from Special Assistant to Senior Special Assistant on Kannywood's affairs. Dawakin Tofa said the appointments reflect the government's commitment to strengthening governance and urged the appointees to justify the confidence reposed in them through hard work, transparency, and loyalty to the Kano First agenda. We'll now take a pause here, and up next are news stories from the build sector. Stay with us.
This is Housing TV Africa on YouTube and click on the subscribe button. Subscribe to Housing TV Africa to stay updated on latest happenings in Nigeria's housing sector. Follow our social media pages, like and share our posts. On Facebook, Housing TV Africa. On Twitter, Housing TV Africa. Instagram, Housing TV Africa.
Welcome back. Glad to have you join us on Housing TV News at the top of the hour. Now to the build sector. The Enugu state government has approved a sweeping reform of its land administration system, merging land use charge and ground rent into a single payment and reducing the total cost by more than 69%. The move is aimed at eliminating illegal levies and strengthening the state's investment climate. As part of the reform, the government has also outlawed the activities of non-state actors, commonly known as Ogboniagachu, who has been accused of illegally imposing levies on investors and property developers across the state. Governor Peter Mbah announced the decisions under his administration's broader economic transformation agenda, which seeks to remove barriers to development, curb revenue abuse, and restore investor confidence in Enugu's land sector. Under the new policy, property owners will now pay a unified land use charge annually through the Enugu State Internal Revenue Service, whether their properties are located within estates or outside them. The unified charge replaces multiple payments that previously placed heavy financial burdens on residents, developers, and businesses across the state. The announcement was made during a stakeholder town hall meeting on land sector development held at the International Conference Center in Enugu. Governor Peter Mbah was represented at the event by the Secretary to the State Government, Chidebere Onya.
Is determined to improve the ease of doing business in Enugu State, and this is reflected in Enugu State's remarkable rise in the national PEBEC rating, moving from 36th position in 2023 to 6th position in 2025. Sustainable land management in Enugu State requires inclusiveness. It requires cooperation and also respect for both statutory and customary interests as recognized by law.
And in that regard, His Excellency has put in place quite a couple of pieces of policy directions and legal instruments. I could quickly, remind us of a few of them, just so that we can see things in context. Recall that His Excellency signed into existence the executive order declaring new urban areas in the state.
The federal government has reaffirmed its commitment to addressing Nigeria's housing deficit with assurances that the pricing of government-owned housing projects will be reviewed to ensure affordability for average Nigerians. The Minister of State for Housing and Urban Development, Right Honorable Yusuf Abdullahi Atta, gave the assurance during an official assessment visit to the National Housing Project Estate in Lamenga, Just East local government area of Plateau State. Atta said affordable housing remains a core priority under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's renewed hope agenda, stressing that the administration is focused on expanding housing supply while preventing cost barriers that could exclude intended beneficiaries. According to the minister, the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development is intensifying efforts to increase the volume of available housing units nationwide, while stressing that pricing structures reflect economic realities and promote inclusivity. The Lagos State House of Assembly has invited leaders of Makoko and other waterfront communities to a meeting on Tuesday, February 3rd, 2026, over petitions arising from the recent demolitions and alleged forced evictions. The invitation, signed by the Clerk of the House, Olalekan Onafeko, follows rising tension after demolition exercises reportedly destroyed homes, schools, and clinics. Residents and right groups allege the actions were carried out without adequate notice, compensation, or resettlement. Community leaders also claim the demolition exceeded the approved 30-meter setback from power lines, reaching up to 520 meters in some areas. The meeting at the Assembly Complex in Alausa, Ikeja is expected to address residents' grievances and explore lawful and sustainable solutions. Away from that story, an Ilorin-based property firm, That Homes Investment Limited, has expressed readiness to partner with the Kwara State government to provide affordable housing for residents. The company announced plans to develop 5,000 bungalows over the next 5 years across different parts of the country. Speaking in an interview in Ilorin, the firm's founder, Atolagbe Daniel and Ifeoluwa Sanusi, said inadequate funding remains a major challenge for emerging businesses. Daniel noted that the company aims to work with the state government to deliver affordable homes in suitable locations, adding that Homes has already completed at least 3 housing estates in Ilorin and its environs. Moving to the foreign scene, Interpol has issued a red notice for the rest of Indonesian oil tycoon Mohammed Reza Khalid over his alleged involvement in a $17 billion corruption scandal linked to a state-owned oil firm, Pertamina. Khalid, popularly known as the gasoline godfather, is wanted for alleged corruption, money laundering, and manipulation of a lease agreement at Pertamina between 2018 and 2023. Indonesian authorities confirmed that the red notice was issued on January 23rd and circulated to all 196 Interpol member countries. The Attorney General's office said Khalid, his son, and several senior Pertamina officials are accused of importing crude oil at inflated prices instead of sourcing locally as required by law. The alleged fraud is estimated at 285 trillion rupiah, with 18 suspects named in the case. Indonesian Immigration Office revoked Khalid's passport in October as authorities intensify efforts to bring him to justice. And that's the much we can take on Housing TV News at the hour. But before we go, a recap of our top stories. The federal government is to arraign suspects in Benue killings. Nigeria is set to become Africa's first electric vehicle manufacturing country. Enugu government unifies land charges and reduces fees by 69%. On the foreign scene, Interpol issues red notice for Indonesian oil tycoon over 17 billion corruption scandal. For more news in the housing sector, subscribe to Housing TV Africa on YouTube. Download the Housing TV mobile app on Google Play Store and Apple Store. Many thanks for watching. I am Dorcas Chia. Bye for now.